Welcome back. CBS News is reporting President-elect Donald Trump will make his final cabinet picks by Thanksgiving. From our News 9 Washington bureau, Scott Mitchell and Alex Cameron have more in this week's DC Debrief.
Well, another wild week in Washington. Say that one really fast. Alex Cameron, good to see you in our DC bureau. How are you?
Doing well, Scott. Good to be with you. Yeah, it's been, the lame duck session is going. There's a lot of stuff happening there, but overshadowed by all the machinations of the Trump transition. That's really what we've been following this week.
Let me start with something we thought we had put to bed, but apparently not, and that is the speculation here in Oklahoma about Congressman Hern possibly looking at a gubernatorial run. Now, he's in a leadership position in the House. You've got a Republican president coming in, both chambers, both sides of the Capitol run by Republicans. He likes that tax policy, but apparently the information you developed is that he really is looking at running for governor of Oklahoma. Is that correct?
He absolutely is. I sat down with him this week, asked him directly, is this something you've been considering? The rumors are out there, and he said, I have. And he talked about how, he was very methodical when he looked at possibly running for Senate. A few years ago when it was clear that Senator Inhofe was going to step down, he ended up deciding not to make that jump and stayed where he was and is in the House, enjoying his leadership role there. He was also methodical when he was considering making a run for Speaker when we had the Speaker vacancy last year. So he likes to do his research, and he's willing to put in the time to do it. And that's what he's been doing for the last few months with regard to a possible run for governor. And I incorrectly assumed that with the House now staying in Republican hands, the Senate having flipped to Republican control, and a Republican in the White House, that he might, think, that's not going to be for me. I'm going to be happy here. But the truth is, as he pointed out to me, history has shown in these situations during the midterms, the House more often than not, in fact, almost all the time, flips. So he's sort of anticipating that in 2026, the U.S. House will revert back to Democratic control, and he would go back into what he calls purgatory, being in the minority. So he's still very much considering this. Now, that doesn't mean, he's going to run. He has not made up his mind, but the fact that he is in the majority, the fact that there's a trifecta right now in Washington really is not, doesn't weigh in, I should say. He's going to look at this from the standpoint of how can I be most effective?
You're not the only one who also assumed that maybe you'd shut the door on that, but it's hard to argue the math in terms of these chambers flipping back and forth. It's very important, and when it gets resolved, Alex will be there. We'll talk to you next week, Alex.
Well, Alex and Scott discuss much more in an extended digital version on the DC Debrief. You can watch that now on the News 9 app.